Uh, Bishop Swing and I once had the great joy of journeying together to the hometown of one of ISKCON's bright lights, known to us initially as Dr. T.D. Singh, known within the ISKCON community as Damodara Swami. And while we were there, we had the great joy of being part of a community of people of different faiths who went on pilgrimage to different houses of worship. We gathered early one morning and we journeyed to a Sikh Gurdwara where we shared in prayers and were given a lovely breakfast at the Sikh langar. There were a few Sikhs in the group. Everyone else was from some other faith tradition. It was a chance to be welcomed into someone's home. I won't remember the exact order or maybe even all the places, but I know we had the great joy of being welcomed into a Jain temple, being welcomed into a mosque. We went through 2 military checkpoints to get to a spot of earth that was sacred to the indigenous people, but as with land that is sacred to indigenous people in so many places of the world, it had been taken over by other people who controlled it. And so to be able to go into that sacred space, the native people whose space it had been needed permission. We went there and prayed outdoors. We went to a Baha'i house of worship and ended up at the ISKCON temple that Dr. T.D. Singh's community was building. And in each place, we shared prayers. For most of the people at any one place, they weren't their prayers. They weren't the prayers of their tradition, but I think we all recognized that in each other's prayers, there was an approach to what is most holy, what is most sacred. And that sacred source is a source that calls us to love and care about each other. I am always moved and was moved again as Bishop Swing read the Beatitudes that Jesus taught us about how we're called to care for people. That is a spiritual technology, it seems to me, that is well worth paying attention to, turning strangers into neighbors.